Hello, hi, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the another online session on Anand Medical Academy. In this biology video session, I am going to start about the biotechnology applications. Absolutely, it is a continuation portion of the biotechnology processes or biotechnology principles in the last video session what we had discussed. In this part, all those processes, how they can be applied in the field of agriculture or in the field of medicine or in the field of research or diagnosis, how these biotechnology, every procedure have a role. That is simply called biotechnology applications. Today class is about biotechnology applications in the agriculture field. That is why agriculture biotechnology. Let us see how do biotechnology helps its procedures in agriculture and what purpose. Very simply, to increase the food production. According to the Green Revolution in the agricultural field, so many innovations were developed. As we can assume, 3 times of production has been generated after Green Revolution in the India. But that tripled food sources in the agriculture cannot fulfill the entire population of the India. So that we need some more techniques and procedures and applications of the biotechnology to fulfill or balance the food requirements to the population. So to increase the food production, firstly we have so many agrochemical based processes. They are not related to the biotechnology. They are simply traditional methods. This is what? Traditional methods, in which farmers are generally using conventional methods to get a more yield. But here the drawback is, number one, they have to use chemicals. Chemicals like insecticides, pesticides, and some sprays. They can spoil the biodiversity. Right? We may get more amount of product. Nothing but yield is very good in number, but the quality reduces. The second important thing, this is the first one, they are using chemicals. The second one, the drawback in the agrochemical based processes is quality reduces. Quality will be reduced, not about the quantity. Understand? The third important thing is they are too expensive. So farmers cannot bear such expensive chemicals to spray as a fertilizers to protect their crops and to get good yield. Sometimes the profit amount is lesser than the amount they invested on the fertilizers. And the fourth one is varieties will not be evolved. So that is the reason agrochemical based processes are failed, so that biotechnology can be evolved and a necessity was initiated. So agrochemical based processes in the Department of Agriculture using since so many centuries, but these are the drawbacks. What are the drawbacks by the agrochemical based agriculture? Number one is we are using chemicals as a fertilizers, so that they are insecticides, they kill the insects, and they are pesticides, and these sprays are also reducing so many species, that is also an impact of ecosystem. And secondly, the quality will be reduced. The kind of fertilizers may increase the product, that is nothing but quantity will be increased but not quality. The third one is the farmer cannot bear such things. The fourth one is by using these chemical fertilizers, the plants will not be evolved through different varieties. That is the reason the second thing we followed, that is organic agriculture. or organic based procedures. In organic agriculture, there is no need to use of chemicals. By normal and natural methods we used to follow. Natural methods. So that here quality will be good. Quality is good. When we come to know about the quantity, it will be less. So that is one of the drawback. Here also varieties cannot be produced. That is the reason, apart from the agrochemical based processes and organic based processes, in agriculture department the new era has been started. That is the third one, that is called biotechnological or genetic engineering based crop development methods in agriculture. By this, we can avoid the using of chemical fertilizers. We can avoid the getting of a least or low yield, and we also can be modify the gene or genotype of a particular organism to get many varieties. They may be production or they may be resistant against some pesticides without damaging any of the ecosystem, any species of the ecosystem. We can easily continue the agriculture. So that's why the best methods in agriculture by genetic engineering methods. So let me discuss what are the different types of organisms that are evolved by biotechnology applications in agriculture. Firstly, before you have to understand the concept, everyone must know what is genetically manipulated organisms. So this is the basic thing to understand today's concept. They are also called GMO, genetically manipulated organisms. Suppose one organism X is there, that may be a plant, that may be a bacteria, that may be human or any animal or fungi or protozoa, maybe algae also. This organism genes were altered the genotype, and this organism have the altered gene. So any of these organisms have errors or betterment, then we have to insert the desired gene to manipulate that. It is a original gene sequences, but they are altered or manipulated gene sequences. Then this organism is called genetically manipulated organism. Suppose today we are discussing about biotechnology applications in agriculture. In agriculture, generally plants will be there. So we are editing the sequences of genes inside the plant so that genetically manipulated plants will become. If it is a bacteria, genetically manipulated bacteria. If it is a fungi, genetically manipulated fungi. Like that, what is GMP? Genetically manipulated plant. In that, some examples today we will discuss. One is Bt cotton and RNAi, means RNA interference. From these two, definitely one question will come in the NEET examination. Without let me start genetically manipulated plants in biotechnology. This is the concept. Bt cotton. Bt cotton is a genetically manipulated plant. Let us see what is the scenario in this case. Generally, if you take a normal cotton plant, cotton will be produced by the seeds, nothing but fruit-like structures, right? In case if these seeds were there or these fruits were there, so many kinds of insects were damaging the crop plant. So this crop is nothing but here cotton. Cotton plant is affected by various insects. In that some categories are there. Lepidopterans. Lepidopterans means tobacco worms, army worms, cotton bollworms or cotton borers. They used to bore the seeds or fruit-like structures so that aeration will be changed and product will be less. And in other category of insects, Coleopterans. In the Coleopterans, beetles comes over there. Generally you have an idea, beetles, red color, green color, beetles will be there. As these beetles are making such a kind of a crop as their habitat, damage the different types of plant parts and it leads to less yield or zero production. And other category of insects here, they are Dipterans. In the Dipterans, mosquitoes, bees and flies comes over there. So finally there are three category of insects are used to damage the crop, commonly that is belongs to cotton type. They are Lepidopterans, Coleopterans and Dipterans. All the three categories of insects are naturally damaging the crop, that leads to less quality or less or decreasing in the yield, that damage to the product as well as a loss to the farmer. So to decrease these effect or to avoid the damage by these insect actions, if we use chemicals, then there is agrochemical based methods. Then lot of drawbacks were there as just before we discussed. How does this problem will be avoided? By using genetic engineering methods. That is how this general cotton evolved into genetically engineered cotton, that is called BT cotton. Here one should understand that BT means not biotechnology. Here BT means Bacillus thuringiensis. Thuringiensis is a strain, nothing but a variety of bacteria from which a gene is extracted and that gene is inserted into plant later, that is avoided all these kind of problems. It is a tremendous application in biotechnology principle. In the green evolution, a lot of changes takes place through this. Let us see how the BT cotton has been developed now. So guys, Bacillus thuringiensis is a bacteria. Generally it has a DNA as its genome. Its genome has a sequence. If you understand this sequence, this gene is called Cry gene. Very important. CRY. The gene name is called Cry. Here the Cry means crystalline in nature. Means this gene undergo transcription, gives mRNA. This mRNA undergoes translation, produce a protein. This is protein. This protein is crystalline in nature. Crystalline protein. And this protein act on greater 7 pH. Nothing but in only alkaline medium it will be activated. One more time I will tell you about this protein. This protein is crystalline in nature. That's why the protein coded gene is called Cry gene. Why? In the BT cotton, the crygene is named because the gene is responsible to a protein. The protein nature is crystalline. So that is why the protein producing gene is called crygene. So this crygene undergone transcription and translation given a protein. What are the characteristic features of that protein? Protein is a crystalline nature physically. Protein is generally it is in inactive stage. Once that protein is present inside the alkaline medium, it will be dissolved and act as active stage. Then only their work will be started. Clear? So this is help you to understand why such a kind of insects are avoiding damaging of the particular crop in the soon. So this is one part and this is one part. What is this part? Generally, what are the insects that are damaging the cotton plant? Then what is this part? To avoid this kind of problem, and normal cotton is going to be evolved into BT cotton by inserting a gene. Which gene? That is called crygene. Crygene is isolated, means separated or extracted from which bacteria? Bacillus thuringiensis. So Bacillus thuringiensis is a prokaryote in which one gene is identified. That gene giving a protein by transcription and translation. So that protein is a crystalline nature. Mainly it acts on only alkaline medium. So one more important thing about this protein is this protein has toxicity or toxic in nature. What is toxicity? It acts as a poison. Poison in which medium? Only in alkaline medium. Otherwise, you might have an idea that, sir, if the protein is a toxic in nature, if a protein is a toxic in nature, why doesn't this protein kills bacteria? Have you understand my question? Bacteria gene itself produce the protein. Inside the bacteria, the protein will be produced. But why not this protein is killing bacteria? Why this protein can kill all these category of insects is my question. Answer is, in bacteria, alkaline medium was absent. Number one. Number two, even protein is produced inside the bacteria by gene, by transcription and translation. That protein is in only crystalline in state. Crystalline state protein is inactive state. Very important thing. So, protein has two forms. Number one is inactive stage. Number two is active state. Where does inactive state? Until it is in crystalline or it is in the acidic medium or neutral medium, it is inactive stage. When does it will become active stage? When the protein is existing in alkaline medium or pH is more than 7, then this crystal protein will be dissolved and forms a liquid structure that is called toxic form or active form. This thing is not happening inside the bacteria. Reason, inside the bacteria there are no alkaline structures or alkaline presence. That is why always inside the bacteria even the protein is produced that is in inactive protein or precursor of toxic nature. Clear? So this type of protein producing gene will be isolated, separated, and you know very well, if this gene is inserted into the plant is a target. This is a desired gene. Now, who is required here? Between the gene and the target, vector is required. So let us see how this gene is inserted into plant to make normal cotton into BT cotton. Now see the procedure, how a normal cotton is going to be a desired cotton called BT cotton. This is a gene. Which gene this is? BT gene. This gene is also called crygene. A gene could able to produce crystalline protein, right? This gene is extracted from a bacteria called Bacillus thuringiensis. Right? This gene is incorporating with a vector. Vector is a vehicle who carry the foreign gene along with its gene, right? Gene sequences. Here the vector is Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Agrobacterium is a genus, tumefaciens is a species. So, this bacteria, from this bacteria, a vector has been developed. Through that vector, if it is that, then this is the foreign gene, means desired gene. So this is vector, and this vector enters the cotton plant. So this is cotton plant or any desert plant, who is generally affecting by so many category of insects. Clear? When it is insected, generally this protein will be developed and it is present in every part of the plant. So, crygene exists in the desired plant. Means every part of the plant means every cell of the plant consists of this gene. That gene could able to produce crystalline protein, right? But the protein is a toxic in nature now. This is what? Crygene, who can produce toxic protein. When does that protein will become toxic? Acidic medium or alkaline medium? Only in alkaline medium. In plant, it is also in inactive stage. Reason? In plant also there is no alkaline medium presence. Inactive protein exists. As this gene exists in every cell of the plant, inactive protein or crystalline protein is existing in particular plant. If a beetle or an insect comes and infects this plant, then generally insects are eating the leaves, right? Okay. If any insect try to damage the plant by eating leaves, then this crystalline protein will enter. Observe carefully. The gene inside the plant, whose gene actually that is? Bacillus thuringiensis gene. Why we extracted that gene? The gene has a capacity to produce a protein that is toxic for insects, not for plants. So, the protein is crystalline in nature in the plant. When an insect comes and generally eating the leaves, along with the leaves, the protein also gets inside the stomach or digestive gut of the insect. Once this toxic protein or crystalline protein enters the digestive tract, what will happen? Suppose if it is the digestive tract of the or alimentary canal of the any insect, generally this alimentary canal has a epithelial tissue lining. Epithelial tissue lining, what is this? Epithelium lining. And this is gut, means digestive system. Gut of the insect. Observe carefully. This is digestive system of the mosquito or any cotton bollworm, whatever it is. Inside the gut, epithelium lining is present. Now, once this mosquito or a cotton bollworm or a beetle, whatever, it eats the leaf, inside the leaf, crystalline protein is also present. The crystalline protein enters the digestive tract. Inside the digestive tract, enzymes will be produced and digestive juices will be produced. In the intestine, alkaline juices will be produced. So, all these are alkaline juices. In the alkaline juice, the crystalline protein will become dissolve and will become active. I already told you. Crystalline protein is in inactive stage. When it enters to alkaline medium, it will be active. So, crystalline protein becomes dissolved in that alkaline medium and active and damages all the intestinal lining. Then, perforation takes place. Perforation of gut means digestive system epithelial lining will have some pores, nothing but openings. Then the particular tissue will be damaged and swelling. Then that leads to death of particular insect. So insect is dying. But here we are not using any kind of sprays or fertilizers or chemicals because of the gene, because the natural habit of eating of a particular insect, the protein present, which protein that is? Krill protein. Gene is produced a protein inside the leaf. Along with the leaf, that protein gets inside the gut of the or alimentary canal of the insect. Inside the alimentary canal of the insect, due to the presence of alkaline digestive juices, the crystalline protein dissolved and it become toxic substance. Because of that toxic substance, alimentary canal or epithelial lining of the insect will be damaged and swelling takes place, then insect will be dead. So as it is repeating, so such a group of insects or species are avoiding the eating of a particular crop by their only sense. So over the period of time, cottons can be easily avoided by the actions of all the categories of the insects. Then such a cotton is called Bt cotton. So this cotton will become Bt cotton. Why it is called Bt cotton? It is genetically manipulated plant. The genes of the plant is not damaging, or any product of the plant is not damaging the gut of the insect. Because of the desired gene, the gene belongs to Bacillus thuringiensis presents, a protein is produced inside the plant. The protein is damaging insect. Here one more question. Does that protein damages plant? No. Does the protein damages bacteria? No. Does the protein damages or kills insect? Yes. Reason? The protein will be active only in the alkaline medium. Such alkaline conditions are available in only the gut of or digestive tract of insect. That is the reason insect is only killed by the toxic protein, not bacteria or plant. So this is how a new variety has been formed in the agriculture. That is how the agriculture biotechnology has Bt cotton nowadays. Like that, many bollworms or cotton worms or corn worms, borer worms, so many insects are damaging the crop. So if we research a particular anti or toxic substances that are damaging or killing the insects, we can identify by the research and take in the desired gene and develop like this so many genetically manipulated plants in the world. So in this area, one student should also focus research importance. So if we research so many crops, we can identify their damaging or affected insects. If we research on their insects and their antitoxins and their enemies also, we can easily identify from them. If we extract the genes by using these methods along with the help of vectors, we can create so many genetically manipulated organisms. In case of agriculture, they are called genetically manipulated plants. So the gene is called crygene. Apart from this, here crygene available in the two forms. One is Cry 1AB and Cry 2AC. These two are used to prevent the cotton bollworms, whereas Cry 1AC gene, it is a different sequence. These two are different sequence. It helps to prevent the actions of corn worm or corn borer. So that is how these genes are expressing in certain plants, producing chemicals that are becoming toxins in only insects. Clear? If you understand the concept, go through the textbook line and once refer. If you want, again you just watch the video. Now, second applications in agriculture is RNA interference. Okay guys, and you have listened BT cotton concept in the agriculture biotechnology. In next video, we will be discuss RNA interference, or also called RNA silencing, in which some kind of nematodal actions will be avoided in the agriculture. That will be a different concept. So go through the textbook lines about the agriculture biotechnology, the importance of biotechnology applications in a field of agriculture, and attempt assignment. Thank you.